Hi everybody, Sanbanani, Ninjani, Dumalang, Abshing, yeah, and everything. Okay? Uh, my name is Bongi, and yeah, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please do make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you also share to everybody around, like that and also comment down below. I really like people commenting down below and interacting into conversation, and tell me, what do you think of this new background? I've always wanted to try this out. I've always wanted to try this out. But yes, guys, you're still gonna see a lot of my different personalities, like the different aspects of me. You're still gonna see a lot of them. But yeah, welcome back to my channel. Please, 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 please do subscribe, like the videos, and actually share them, and also comment. I like hearing what people think and what people say, you know. But that doesn't mean I'm looking for approval. Okay. Now, what's the topic for today? Okay. Brace yourself. Okay? Brace yourself, and please don't fight in the comment section. These are just our opinions as people. You are allowed to disagree. You are allowed to engage in a conversation, but please don't fight me. Just like engage. Because when I talk about things, I like to hear other people's perspective and also hear where do they come from with that, perspective. Why do they say the things that they say? Okay. Now, my topic today is, what do we tell our kids about Christianity and dating? Yeah, ne? Now, the reason why I'm asking, ne, it's because I'm not married yet, ne? And there are just things that where I feel like, how can I put it? There are things that I feel like you just let nature take its course. Um, don't scare the child. I've heard some scary stories, okay? I've really heard some scary stories, and maybe one day I'll open up about one that made me go like, you know what? I'm not gonna listen to people anymore. I'm gonna be me and let nature take its course. And I pray to God, wherever I sin about this dating saga, may He forgive me. But in my experience, honestly, I cannot say I'm the last person to judge. I'm the last person to judge people when it comes to dating, how they conduct dating. Others say they're not going to date because they want to stay pure for their husband and all those things. Now, my question is, if you don't date, how are you going to get to the husband part? I'm just asking. Eh? I'm just asking. But here's my view. Yes, let's be up and close. Here's my view about dating, and how what I think about it. First of all, I'm glad that I got to see dating from the perspective of my own eyes and not from someone else's eyes, someone telling me, don't do this, do that, don't do this, do that. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if you're protecting me or you're hurting me, or you're just following the religion and you being an extremist, because there are people who are like that. I'm Christian and I've dated, and there was a point in my life where I decided, you know what, if I'm gonna date, this is how I will choose to date, and this is how I choose to do things. And one of my rules was that I prefer a person telling me the truth of this is who I am, this is what I am like, and this is how I do things. Don't sugarcoat it, don't hide it from me. If you are Christian and in your dating you are perhaps a person who's like, I'm not the type of Christian who doesn't who doesn't have intercourse, don't lie to me and say, when you are pure, when you don't have intercourse. No, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth from beginning so that I can choose for myself. Okay? I prefer like knowing the actual truth of like, what do you think? What is even on your mind? Let me have the choice to choose if I want to do this thing or not. It has worked for me. It has worked for me. And but the reason why I'm coming to this thing about I think I'm happy about the fact that I was able to see dating from my own perspective. Excuse me, not from a perspective of another person telling me to do 1, 2, and 3. It's because I recently heard a voice note that was shared, in the community WhatsApp groups and stuff like that, and the voice note was a radio conversation that they had with, I think she was a 19-year-old, and she was telling the story of how she's dating her own father. Yeah, I know. It's heartbreaking because when she started the relationship, the impression I got from listening to that conversation that they were having with her on the radio was that daddy told her that boys out there are going to hurt you. So let me be the one who gives you the dating experience. And I'm like, ugh! It happens all the time. It happens. It happens in our communities, and nobody says anything about it. I was heartbroken because in the radio when the girl was talking about it, she did not want to hear anything. Okay, she did not want to hear anything when it came to people telling her that it's unnatural to be dating your own father. It's unnatural to be wishing death on your own mother because of that. It was a twisted thing to hear that girl talking about how she thinks that they belong together and she does not care what people say, but she knows that her and the dad belong together. I was baffled. Now, it comes back to this thing of a person saying, and it happens even in the churches, a person telling you, I think you should date like this, like this, like this. We've had people dating pastors, and then pastors deny, like, dating the girl once the girl was pregnant. I saw this even on a show as well. A girl was dating a pastor, and the pastor said some things that made the girl believe that, oh, the pastor loves me. And then now when it came out in the open, it was a whole saga. It was like a whole movie. And this one thought, how many I thought you loved me. And this pastor was like, how could I love you? I'm engaged. I'm about to be married. So it came back to that thing, even with the father saying to the little girl, okay, she's not little. Let's be real about that one. She's not real. She's not little, but for me, it came back to the thing of like this young lady, because she said she started dating the father at the age of, was it 16 or 17, and by the time when she had this conversation, she was about 19 years old. And the impression she got was that the guys out there are gonna hurt her. And the father is giving her everything that she needs, including intercourse. So she does not have to go out there and be heartbroken by men. You know what broke my heart the most about that conversation on the radio? It was that when because she was speaking to a woman on the radio, the lady on the radio said, listen, there's a whole world you haven't seen out there. There's a whole world that you haven't seen out there. And yes, you deserve to be treated like a queen because you are precious. Each and every life in this world is precious. Okay? And what is being done to you right now, you don't deserve it. Especially when it was being done from a younger age. And I'm like, the sad part is that she does not even see how vile this is in terms of how vile the actions of the father was. So this is why I'm saying dating and Christianity, I prefer seeing it with my own eyes, from my own perspective, and not having other people tell me what happens. And even in those relationships that I have been in, I've dated people who are Christian and people who are non-Christian, and I found that people who are not Christian are more truthful. I was like, huh? Like, because I would tell the person, listen, tell me, is this a one night stand? Is this us dating? Are we just messing around with our time because we like chilling with each other? And like, okay, back in varsity, like, yeah, I really did explore dating. I really did. And I'm thankful that I got to explore and experience dating that way because I was seeing it from my own perspective. I wasn't being told by Mang Mang, Wako Kai Kai from their scary experiences. No, it's wrong. And if you want to protect your child, you don't tell the child that I will date you. No, that's a scam, first of all, and that's abuse of power. I think maybe you would tell the child, here are the challenges, here's what you have to watch out for. But don't tell me, you should date these types of people and don't date those types of people. And this is why I'm like, yes! At least I saw it from my own perspective. And my biggest first heartbreak in dating, I think I was 16, 17. And the guy dumped me because I wouldn't give it up. Okay, I wouldn't give it up, and that's why I was dumped. But like, it was my first bad heartbreak because I was committed to that relationship. Okay, I was so committed. But what happened in that aspect, after that, I grew up. And me growing up, I was growing up in a boarding school. So now I was like in the boarding school, and first of all, that my ex, that one whom I was dating at that time, he was a day scholar, and I was in the boarding school, and that's why Ugai was moving so fast, because the day scholars were out there being fast, okay? And this guy was in another school, I was in another school, and I was in a boarding school. So after he broke my heart like that, someone just randomly said it. Was like, well, look on the brighter side. Now you're going to be able to date in your own school, and you're going to be dating people from other towns and provinces, because my school was getting people from other provinces. And it was a whole thing for me to date. I've always said this. I'm like, I want to date a Sutu guy or a Tswana guy. Like, and I'm saying a Tswana guy because right now I am dating a Tswana guy, and it is the best experience ever. I wanted to date outside my tribe. And I was like, I'm curious, of the way they are. And not just for a guy, but the way other tribes live. Because Mina, I am Zulu, and I had, yay, my mom strict to the strictest. And I'm not talking about my mom's sister, whom I call mom. I mean my real mom. Okay, I got to experience the wrath of that woman while she was still alive. Okay, so I know how Zulus raise kids when it comes to mdolo. Also, and they tell you, batshela ukuthi uzomita. Okay, uzomita. But now I didn't get to experience the dating phase with my mom. She had already passed away then. But that first heartbreak, it opened my eyes. And then now, because now I was dating from a perspective of high school as well, I got to see Hurim. Don't choose this. And another thing that I was told, like they kept on telling me, like Mazulu, they will hammer it in your head with uzomita. Don't you dare, child, don't you dare give it up. I saw then that, like, girl, don't, okay? And when I did, when I did decide to give it up, I won't lie, I was conscious, I was sober, and I was like, I think this is the right time. And that time was in varsity. And I was literally like, it's time. I need to do this now, because the longer I postpone it, the more I'm going to get scared. And the more I'm going to hear other people's scary stories. And it will just be a whole other thing. By the way, please don't try this at home, because I don't know what are your experiences. I don't know how you feel about it. For me, I wanted to do it so that I'm not afraid, so that I could understand what is the fascination behind it as well. And the moment I did, I was like, oh, so it's like that. Okay, I moved on with life. But my heartbreak, my first heartbreak, the biggest heartbreak that I got, it taught me that you will live. You will live. No need to wallow. No need to be depressed for too long. You will live. And by the way, my first heartbreak, there was no way you could say, oh, Jesus, there was no way you could say you are depressed because of a boy. To who? To my Zulu parents. Eh? To my Zulu mom. My Zulu mom. I mean, like my aunt. Let alone my dad. You could never say that. That when you are depressed because of a boy. No, there was no time to do that, because remember, your dating and you dating a boy was a secret in the first place. So if you're getting burnt, you can now come back and say, Mommy, ah, this guy broke my heart. You can't. You can't do that. Okay? So I had to just be like, you know what? Wipe the slate clean. Go back now to boarding house, looking all fabulous, and be happy. Okay? Be happy that you are free, because you cannot tell your mom that your heart was broken by a boy. I'm African and I'm Zulu. And angeke uzutshela uMasibisi ukuthi wena udepressed ngani ngumfana angizwanga. You cannot do that. So, but it also depends on what type of family you come from. But me, Bongiwe Sibisi, me, the family that I come from, they are still traditionally Zulu, and I can still not tell. Like, there was a time where I knew you cannot tell your oldest brother, the one that works for when you have a boyfriend, yay, are you applying for your death? No, honey, you couldn't do that. But I am grateful that I got to experience dating in a way that was, God kept me. And I won't lie, guys. Looking at it, there are people who don't have the best experiences when it comes to dating. and they come across things. I've heard stories on YouTube, people who are explaining about their dating situation where the girl wouldn't give it up, and then they come across situation where now the guy is forcing themselves into them, and those kind of situations. I've never been in such a situation, and I do recommend that you be very careful, because, like, remember, I was in a boarding school since like grade 2, so I had adopted the white people's way of dating, and that was that if you're gonna go on a date with a boy, be in a public space all the time, so things like that don't happen. They taught us the whole thing. Even like when I started dating as like my very first boyfriend, when we were going on dates at a thing in the boarding house with other guys as well, they used to have rugby night. They used to have what is it? Is it a prom night? I don't know what they call it. They used to have a movie night, and every time when we were going with these boys as our dates and we take nice pictures with them, they would still be teachers chaperoning us, like telling us, be in a public space at all times. When you're going to the bathroom, go as a group of girls, and all those things. So I knew the whole rodeo when it came to that, and it really opened my eyes. It protected me, and I could date in a safer space, even though afterwards, when I went to high school, I went to a school that was dominated by black people more, but I still kept those values. I still could navigate in the dating realm properly. But then if you are a parent and you're watching this video, don't wait for a child to get hurt before you could see Hori. They were trying to get in the dating realm. No. Talk to the child. If they are dating, of course, it will happen. They date. They are teenagers. It will happen. It has been happening for decades of all our lives. It will happen eventually. But be ready for the conversation. And don't scare the child. Because kids get hurt because of such things. They get hurt because of such things. Now look at this one who's being brainwashed by the father. The father saying that the guys out there will hurt your feelings, so I should be the one who is who you should give it up to. You see, as mothers, and you need to take care of that. And if you want to have a conversation with your child about dating, and you are a father, sit down with the mother and the child, and then you tell them, okay, fine, you want to date, here are the rules. That's if you are a real caring father, and that's if you are a real caring mother, because also women do these things. Hey, sit down with the child, have an open discussion about it, so that a child does not get hurt. There are so many ways that kids can get hurt. There are so many ways that adults can get hurt. There are people that scare us about dating because of their experiences that are horrific. And maybe when you don't even know that type of experience. I once heard a lady saying, Yena, in her dating days, they used to just come to the house and they pick you up and they put you on their shoulder and ahambe nawe umuntu. And they used to call that ukuthwala umuntu. I'm like, now I know you're not going to come into my father's house and do that. Unless if you've never seen how scary my dad's eyes are. But yes, guys, that's what I'm saying. Like, let kids experience dating in a safe space, and let like people experience dating, even if they are Christians. Let them experience dating from their own perspective. I've heard horror stories from women who dated men who are Christian, and they got really hurt because somebody told you to go and date this person, and now the person is not there when the storm hits. I believe in God, that He will protect us, will lead our footsteps, and always love us. Don't be the Christian who damns the person once they tell you that they are dating, or once they tell you that they want to be in a relationship with someone who's from outside of church. Because my experience with that as well, it wasn't a good experience. I found that guys from church are untrustworthy than like guys from like that I meet on the outside, because they would tell me the truth. This is what I want from you. This is who I am, and this is how I think. And I was more open to that than a person from church telling me that they are holy and they want to be pure in front of my pastors, and then they come around me and they are something else. We've heard stories out here. Anyways, guys, please do subscribe, comment down below. Tell me, what do you think about dating and Christianity? And tell me your experiences. I do want to hear your experiences. We can come back and rehash it, okay? We can come back and rehash it. Please do subscribe, like the video, share it all over. Let's have these conversations, okay? Let's have these conversations. Tell me what you think about the background as well. Bye! Love you!